Hi everybody, and welcome back to today's Real Pro Tip. Today I want to talk a little bit about escrow deposits. You might have definitely heard about down payments and closing costs, but then all of a sudden your agent says, what would you like to put down for your escrow deposit? And you're like, whoa, is that more cash? It isn't. Your escrow deposit is the amount of money that you put down to secure your offer. So you say, hey, I'm gonna give you $300,000 for this home, and as an escrow deposit, I'm gonna give you $6,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 or $1,000, whatever the amount is. In the state of New Hampshire, that amount is typically 1% of the sale price. So for a $300,000 home, that would be about $3,000. But I've slowly been seeing the escrow deposit increase in this market in order to secure your offer. So what is that? What actually happens with that money? Usually there is a set amount of time you have from when your offer is signed and accepted to deliver that escrow deposit. It ranges anywhere from 3 to 7 days, depending on if you're local, you can drop it off, or you're sending it electronically. That money goes, in most cases, to the list agent's escrow deposit account. In the state of New Hampshire, that can be an interest-bearing or non-interest-bearing account. It is separate from all other monies held by the agency. It does get deposited into that account, but it doesn't go actually directly to the sellers. If everything goes right and you move towards closing, that escrow money is credited to the buyer. So it can be part of your down payment, your closing costs. That is money that you've already put in, and it'll be deducted from the other costs that you had associated with the purchase. Now, what happens if the deal starts to fall apart? In the state of New Hampshire, the contract is very, very buyer friendly. So in most cases, if the deal falls apart, the buyer will get that escrow back. For example, if your due diligence period, if the buyer backs out, they get that escrow deposit back. If the inspection, something comes up at the inspection and the buyer backs out, they get that escrow deposit. If you get to prior to the financing deadline, which we'll talk about in another episode, and you can no longer secure financing, so you back out, you would get that escrow deposit back. Essentially, the only time that the seller would get that escrow deposit is if some reason the buyer didn't fulfill their portion of the contract. So if you passed the financing deadline and now the buyer needed to back out or wanted to back out, that would be a situation where the escrow deposit would be going directly to the seller as kind of compensation for taking the home off the market and the buyer not fulfilling their portion of the contract. So that's escrow deposit for you. If you have any questions about this or any questions about real estate at all, give me a call. I want to make all your real estate dreams come true.